You shall not portage! In the old days, traveling upriver was a necessity. The rivers were the highways in North America, and the native people and the trappers and the explorers had to go upriver as well as downriver. So this is about poling, using a pole to push yourself upriver. Number one, what kind of river can you pole up? This is ideal, not too deep. The ideal depth of water is about 1 to 3 feet. More than 3 feet is getting tricky. Ideally, it's not too fast. You're not going up extreme whitewater to start with, although you can ascend fairly difficult rapids. What kind of pole to use? Historically, people used wooden poles. This is hemlock. I would prefer spruce. Spruce takes a while to build. It's hard to find round spruce dowling. But if you want to make a spruce pole, start with a 2x4 and cut it down. First cut it down into a 4-sided rod, then shave it down into a 16-sided rod, then shave it until it becomes round. Sometimes at the end, you're going to mount a little metal shoe to stop this from broomsticking at the bottom, or you can just cut off the broomsticking as you go. Some people use aluminum poles. I don't like it. They're cold in the hand, and they also end up with that black residue all over your palm, but they are lighter, and some people really do prefer them. I have yet to see the perfect fiberglass pole, but if a fiberglass company wants to start making canoeing poles, reach out to me. I'm willing to be sponsored on this. Back in the old days, I never used to wear any of these stinking helmets. I just wear my wilderness hat. And then I realized, man, you can actually smash your head pretty good in whitewater going downriver. Or if you're standing in a boat, poling it upriver, there is a chance that you falling out and smoking your head and that'd be stupid. So if you've got a helmet anyway, wear it. It really doesn't add that much weight to your gear. It gives you quite a bit of safety. Secondly, if you're going to be standing upright in a boat, you should probably be wearing your PFD. Thirdly, if you're poling, you are going to get your feet wet. Occasionally you're going to step out, you're going to slip, you're going to stand out of your boat. You are going to need something that you can get wet. Be that Converse shoes, be that neoprene booties, just be prepared to get your feet wet, and ideally keep your feet warm. I ended up with trench foot once after going upriver on the Kenogami River in Northern Ontario for 2 weeks. By the end of it, I was one of the very few people since World War I to have bona fide trench foot, just my feet being wet and cold for weeks and weeks. So at the very least, neoprene socks, ideally neoprene booties, or neoprene boots, something that will keep your feet warm. Finally, if the water's coming this way and we're going upriver, you want the bow of the boat to be higher than the stern of the boat. That's because if the bow is low, it's going to keep on getting caught by the current and spinning you downstream. So you've got to move the load of gear in your boat and stand in your boat so that the bow is higher in the water than the stern. This will really make a difference when you're going upstream. If you're going downstream, which is also called snubbing, you want it to be different. You want the nose to be heavier. You want the bow to be lower down in the water. And this again allows the weather vane effect that you keep on facing downriver, which is presumably the direction you want to go. One more thing. If you lose your pole, if you break your pole, if your pole gets stuck in the rocks and gets wrenched out of your hands, make sure you've got a paddle handy. The paddle will save your ass when this thing screws up. A couple more things. Your stance is diagonal. This way you can really push yourself upriver. Also, if you end up in water that's too deep to pole, you can use your pole like an inefficient kayak paddle. It's not very powerful. You won't be able to ascend this, but it's better than nothing. And you can move across a deep pool of water like that. The more comfortable you are with regular paddling and whitewater paddling, the easier you'll pick this up. For example, if I want to go straight, I'll know that I have to have the pole fairly close to the boat so that I can push. Another way your pole is like a paddle is using it for sweeps. You can turn your boat left or right by doing forward sweeps or backward sweeps with the end of the paddle. It's surprisingly effective because you've got such a long lever arm. One more thing, you want the pole at about a 45 to 30 degree angle to the water. You don't want to have it vertical, you don't want to lift your boat up, you don't want to have it in front of you, you don't want to slow it down. By having it behind you and having it really grounded on something, you can push and get going really fast.